Garry Tonon, once again, man, how do you feel about this one?
I feel so good. Like this is probably the most excited I've ever been, aside from when Gordon won his EBI, because he was my student, and I'm always more excited for his victories. But as far as for me personally, for my achievements, like this is one of the greatest for me. I'm feeling really good about this, and I just came off of competing in ADCC, and I was struggling really hard with that camp. I worked really hard, and came up short and only took 4th place, and then to come back and be able to submit all of my opponents in relatively short time, most of them, super exciting, and I'm flying high right now. I'm extremely pumped. Like I can't really put it into words.
The semifinals was a pretty rough.
It was a tough match.
What about that match?
So Lucas Valentes, he's tough. I actually got to watch him. I think he competed against Gordon in like Nogi Worlds as a brown belt or something. He was allowing pops to happen during the heel hook attacks, so they weren't quite deep enough to do enough damage to the knee. Most of it was on the ankle, and if it was in the knee, it was like light pops, and he was willing to take the damage. I realized this in the first few attempts. It was almost, I'm sure I could have switched it up and gone to a different submission, but to me, because he was taking the pops and just not doing anything about it, it was like a pride thing. Like I really wanted to get, like, somebody's looking at me, and one of my best weapons, and just going like, yeah, whatever, you can't hurt me with it. Exactly. Like, it's kind of like a middle finger to my face.
He's pretty slow.
And I mean, kudos to him. He's a tough kid. But I really wanted to get the break. Convincing enough to show him like, man, that's real. You're gonna tap to this. So eventually, I did. The last one was pretty bad, and I'm not coming out here to injure anybody, and that's our sport. We break limbs, and we strangle. So that's what this is all about, and you got to be able to do it when it's time. So I'm happy that I was able to do it, and I learned a lot actually through that match, doing the repeated breaks and learning about the final one. I think I'm more aware of what it's going to take to get a real strong break on somebody that's very resistant.
Yeah, and you got Combat Worlds coming up. Talk about
yes.
That one.
Yeah, it's going to be a totally new experience. We're going to have to run a grapple box camp for that, and I'm excited about it. And then I'm very excited for my further career in 1FC and getting into actual mixed martial arts and having my first fight. Everybody's congratulating me on the contract, but it's like, I gotta fight first. Let's find out. Maybe I suck. We'll find out. So I gotta work on my skills, and I'm very excited to enter that realm, the mixed martial arts realm. It's been a dream of mine, to start working in that direction for a long time, and I think there's no better time. So. And
what went into the decision to sign with one?
What went into the decision? A lot of things. I'll say that the biggest part of it was when I did a grappling match for one, I got to meet a lot of the people that are involved in their organization as well as Evolve. And man, I just have to say, like, they really took care of not just me, but all of their athletes. And I really liked the way that they ran things. I thought it was a really professional organization. Mm-hmm. I thought that they really had the best interests of their athletes at heart. And I felt as though I was going to get taken care of in many ways, not just in a sense like they were going to, pay me well, or not just in a sense like, these guys aren't going to like give me a first fight against like somebody who's had 50 fights. Yeah. Some organization was actually going to do that. Yeah, I had conversations with other organizations, obviously, and that was like the conversation. But oh yeah, your first fight, we're going to throw you with this guy. He's had 50 fights, but it's no big deal. Yeah, it's like. So I in many conversations with Chatri and Matt Hume and these guys that work in that organization, man, I felt like I trusted all those people, really well, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to entering into that organization and doing the best I can, and hopefully you'll see me as the title holder, pretty soon.
Yeah. What's the extent of your contract? Is it?
I can't talk about it.
You can't talk about it?
Sorry.
No?
Yeah. I'm not allowed to talk about like any details of the contract until they make them. Until I know that they've released them. So I can't get specific about anything in terms of length or money or anything like that. But that's in the contract that I'm not allowed to disclose the information. Okay. So
have they talked about potential opponent?
Okay, yeah. So what that I will say,
Yeah.
there's no, we haven't done that negotiation. So the initial negotiation is for the contract is just for, you know, I'm fighting for them and no one else.
Yeah.
At least for fighting and not grappling. And then we'll have other contracts for opponents, which we have yet to discuss.
Nice,
so
nice.
that will be coming probably, if I had to guess, sometime early next year.
Now, most of their events, or pretty much all their events, are in Asia.
Yes.
Is that kind of trip?
It's very exciting to me.
Okay,
You know,
for you?
it's.
Yeah.
I've only made minor travels to Asia. I've been to Singapore a couple times to go compete and talk to those guys, and then one time to Beijing for ADCC, and that's pretty much it. So I'm excited to kind of like get the chance to explore Asia while fighting. You know, it's kind of a really cool part about what I do in jiu-jitsu when I'm competing is I get to travel the world, but not too many of the competitions bring us to Asia. So that's really exciting for me. I mean, it's a stressful thing to fly that far all the time to compete, but I mean, in terms of my life and being able to travel and my relative happiness, like I think it's going to send me in a positive direction more so than anything.
And who do you have maybe mentoring you or coaching you in terms of transition over to MMA?
John Danaher will be my primary mixed martial arts coach, and then I'll have auxiliary coaches for things like boxing and wrestling and things like that, and we'll collaborate together. But he will be putting all the pieces together, much like he has for other guys. But thankfully, I'm lucky enough to get to spend every day with John, whereas some of the athletes that John has coached in the past in mixed martial arts only get a couple days here, a couple days there. During their fight camps. So I'm really excited to get to use him as a resource.
Have you talked to George?
I get to have frequent conversations with George and a lot of the guys that fight at TriStar, and Jake Shields that joined our camp too. So I got a lot of guys to pull from for experience. Also Ricardo Almeida's guys. I have that resource as well, not too far away in Jersey. Frankie has done amazing things over there, and a lot of their other fighters are doing really well. So I'm looking forward to using my connections with them to try to help my fight career as well, and hopefully I'm able to one day help them too. You know what I mean? But for now, I just have to build some relevant skills. To be honest, it's very early in my MMA career. I'm not ready to hang with Frankie or any of those guys, or really anybody at Henzo's yet. We're gotta get there. That's the plan now.
Congratulations once
Thanks
again,
so much.
Man.
Really appreciate it.
To Combat Worlds next month, and then your MMA career, man. We're looking forward to it, man.
Appreciate it.